Hello, you've made it to day 16. Welcome to the Get Your Money Shit Together challenge, the second half. Today, we're going to really dive into the integration piece. So, I've talked to you a little bit about how the content is pouring at you in 3 different parts: 10 days of looking at the numbers, 10 days of starting to kind of think about what does that look like and what's the strategy for me. And then the last 10 is all about expanding that idea or that vision. So I really want to remind you in this episode that this is your journey. And we're not trying to feed you with a fire hose of information so that you can just know it. Knowledge is only half the battle. So the approach that you're going to take starting today, day 16, is to look at this from a different perspective. So now, rather than looking at each new topic as there's something else for me to do, now you look at each new topic in terms of how would I integrate that into what I now understand about myself. So we've looked at all the parts. You have the worksheets for your income, your spending, your assets, your liabilities, but we haven't quite taken a dive in to fill out all those parts. So today we're going to talk about what is your contribution. And from this point forward, guys, it's so simple. You're just going to come join me for the lesson of the day, which is going to prompt an idea. So think of the first half as the building the constructs and the second half as the integration of these constructs into your life. So we are going to start integrating the knowledge and wisdom that you have. So you've got a lot of data in front of you. Probably some of it you're still looking to process and what does it mean and how is that going to work for you in the long run. And that's what the second half is. So if you've been sticking it out so far, if you've been thinking about quitting, haven't you? Like, oh, I committed to this. I want to do it, but it's so overwhelming. It's a lot. It's whatever that story you're creating for yourself is. I give you permission right now to let that go and create a new story, because starting now, it's really, it's both the easier part and the harder part, right? So it's not so much the digging deep and the going into the work, but recognizing then what that work brings into your life. So today we're going to talk about contribution. And what I really want to carry forward for you in this concept of contribution as you begin to integrate these lessons is the contribution is the most closely tied to your income. Now, I don't want you to confuse that with effort reward, because it really doesn't work that way because of the energy of the way things work. And the society shows us this, right? The people who work the least hard often have the most access to funds. Why is that true? Because you can't become a billionaire by your own effort. It's not a physical possibility. And if you're an employee of a company and you earn X amount of dollars, becoming a billionaire, you would have to make a really, really large salary for a very, very long time. And AI would keep you alive longer and all the things to actually reach $1 billion by your own effort. So what happens is, as you begin to have a dream and a vision that's bigger than you, AKA you have this contribution, this idea that's bigger than you, you're going to find that the only way to get there is through leverage, meaning allowing the use and the value of other things besides your own effort into that situation. So that could be other people's money, other people's time, other people's energy, other people's thought processes or ideas or mentorship. And so we leverage the value, not only that we bring, but that others bring. And why am I spending so much time here? One of the most fundamental shifts in my own journey as an entrepreneur specifically, and I'm going to guess it would apply just as a regular employee, just what is my contribution to the world? It came when I started to understand. My good friend Diane Allen, if you are a gifted person looking to harmonize your gifts with the world, because they're kind of showing up in a way that maybe you wish they could be a little more harmonized. That's the best I know. She's like pure harmony singing for your soul. But check her out. I think her IG is Someone Gets Me. Just a quick shout out. Hey, Diane, I haven't talked to you for a while, but you changed my life, man. So she had a phrase, and it was, what's mine to do. Now, here's what I want you to understand. If you're still here and you've been able to follow me in this money process, you have some kind of gift in some kind of way that is not normal for other people in that area, right? So I just want to pause right there. Guys, I'm so out there. You didn't make it this far if you don't have it, first of all. So I know this for a fact. If you've made it to day 16 with me, you have some gifts inside of you that are looking to come out, because I'm quite quirky. My process is not linear. And if you can just put up with that and deal with me in that, then we're on to something here. Second, everyone has them, those gifts that are yours, right? Those gifts that you came to the planet with, or that you've cultivated in time. And in fact, we have access to all of them, but we have a predisposition sometimes based on environment or personality or whatever it might be to pursue one thing versus another. Guitar and music interest me, I'm convinced, because from the time I was born, I've been in a church that was a spirited church with lots of music and energy, and my soul connects to the divine through music. And so that's a critical piece. But maybe music I've met people, it doesn't compute in my brain, but I've met people who music just doesn't do it for them. It doesn't connect, it distracts them or whatever. So know that. So whatever you're doing with your contribution is specific and unique to you. And the ways, you can have the same gift as someone else, but the ways that you are going to cultivate your gifts are going to be totally different than someone with the exact same gifts. I mean, let's face it. How many teachers have you met these days teaching about, sexual energy and tantra and, tapping into the energy of the earth and, all of the physical, like the sexual energy medicine is really about bringing into tangible form, right? It's the experience of the energy through our bodies, not necessarily by a physical, tangible touch, which works, right? But through energy and mind and connection, and being able to connect and regenerate that energy within us, so that we're not spending energy through sexual energy, but we are absorbing and bringing back. The Ankh is one of my favorite symbols, actually. So it's a regeneration of energy. And so if you look at someone who teaches that, I have some good friends who teach it, and they do. I love them. They're great. They're open-minded. Usually you can talk about anything with those people who are on those topics, and I love that. Kind of like us who talk about money from a non-traditional perspective. Like, you can pretty much talk to us about anything, and we've heard it. So in those energies, though, the friends I have who do that particular support through the sexual energy, it's not one of them. I have 3 good friends and then some like acquaintances that I've seen, and it looks different for every single one, because the expression of that gift has been cultivated differently. And that's what's going to happen with you. So as you recognize the general concept of a gift you have, you're going to begin to cultivate those gifts that appeal to you. And the ways you know how to cultivate which gift next. First of all, always go to your own knowing first. Nothing I can tell you or anyone else can tell you will replace this. Go to your own knowing. What is the next move for me? You probably already know. Practice the tools you have. If you use pendulums, if you use your body, if you use muscle testing, if you use strategic analysis and pros and cons, or whatever your process is, use that process. But I invite you to just tune in and say, okay, what's next for me to do, and feel it. The next piece of that is you want to look at, well, what is it that I want to create or contribute to the world? Because everything you create is a contribution to the world in some way. So what is it that I want to create or contribute to the world? So then you're going to step up into that creation of, what is it that I want to contribute? And again, I told you about, you guys met Ivy in a recent lesson. And Ivy is my guitar. And what happened with the guitar is I began to know that I have a knack and a gift for music. Not that I'm musically inclined. I don't actually play the instruments that well. Like, I had a few piano lessons when I was a kid. I really wouldn't practice. I didn't get great at it, but I got the fundamentals. And remember that base, that foundation. When you have a foundation for a thing, you can build from that. And so even though I didn't get good at music, then it got into my soul. And so what started to happen for me is I started to notice a way I want to make a contribution to the planet is in those groups, in those rooms where you can feel, and maybe this is one of my gifts to be able to tap into that energy and know, but you can feel that the energy is ripe within the people to bust open a bucket of joy and just to be in presence and celebration and love and harmony. And in that space, because I've been in it my whole life, and I'm telling you, miracles happen in that space. And to be in a space of inviting that kind of shift through openness is important to me. And I began to understand that with my knack for music, that with some focus to learn guitar, because piano can't really go with me everywhere. If I focus a little bit, learn guitar, it's going to take some practice, some energy, some of my effort, but I can do that with love and light, and then it feels like it energizes me more than it costs me, right? Look for those things. That's a clue, by the way, to your contribution. It energizes you more than it costs you. I'm great in front of a group of students. I could be dragging, I don't want to work today, get in the classroom, boom, I walk out excited, energized. Pay attention to what energizes you. That's your little bonus tip to know what's yours, right? And so in that quest of what's mine to do, it doesn't always have to be for a career. It can be every little thing that you do. And you can also use these skills in career. But I recommend you learn to use this what's mine to do, what's my contribution mantra in a simple way first, in a way that doesn't have a lot of attachment to you. When you say career, people get like, oh my God, I got to fix it. I got to figure it out. I'm supposed to know everything already. Why don't I know it? Right? We're going to calm that down. And we're going to simply go, what's mine to do in the space? So for me, I wanted to be able to impact the energy of a room. And I know that one of the most fun, which is one of my core values, it's got to be fun because we're came to this planet for an experience. And one of my requirements is that I'm going to make it as fun as possible. So it's in a fun way that is effective. Excuse me. There's construction here and I'm noticing the dust when I start talking a lot gets in. So it's fun and it's making an impact on the environment. That's what I was looking for. And I happen to know that music has that fun, easy way to impact an environment and shift moods. I've seen people who are at odds, but the music is playing and they're both kind of tapping their feet and somehow they find harmony because the music drew them into the same rhythm, got them on the same wavelength, right? Side note, pay attention to the music you're listening to because it does, in fact, impact your energy and your wavelength. But that's not my soapbox, so I'll let someone else go there. But money is energy. Music is energy. What do you want, right? And I said something in a conversation actually yesterday. This caveat is worth sharing. About your contribution. So how do you contribute? How do you attract funds to you? So in my case, the guitar is not intended to make money. It's intended to create another impact I want. And often what we look for money for is to create some other impact, right? I found that I could indirectly do that. I don't have to spend a lot of money to impact. I can learn the guitar. So there's a question that I want you to ask yourself at this point. So when you start to think about your contribution, there can be some thoughts around easy ways you can make. Well, if I would just do this, I could make money quick, but it's not necessarily so clean. Or what kinds of money you're inviting to your life. So what I really want to highlight here is that, remember that story we started this conversation with? This is that time to go back to that story. What is your money story? Is it cleaning up a little bit? And notice as you clean up your money story, what kind of money is available to you, aka what kind of contributions, opportunities for you to contribute your talents are showing up because you've cleaned up your money story. Because a dirty money story will attract dirty money, right? And money isn't really dirty in and of itself, but how we use it can be. So in other words, dirty money doesn't have to mean illegal or dirt or wrong. It could be out of alignment, right? So I want to clarify this. And this is really important because when you're creating your contribution to the world, there's the musts and the shoulds and the I need to do this and I'm good at this, so I must. And then there's the what's truly yours to do. And the what's yours to do doesn't come from a must or a should. It comes from, if there's any must, it's like from your soul, like, I must create this. Not like, ugh, I must create this. Pay attention, because the feeling of where your contribution is going to come from is going to come from that. Is your money story kind of dirty? Like, money is hard, money is evil, money is whatever. And then do you notice that for you, when you get money, it's kind of dirty, meaning like it's exhausting you to get it? Or, oof, I feel that one in my soul, because I remember being in a place where I was exhausting myself for the money. And it was like, ew, no. And recently to be able to step away from that pattern again, to get into a situation again and go, oh, no. This is no for me. And to step out of that. So what is your contribution and how does it feel? And if your money story is dirty, then your money flow will also be dirty. That means the contribution that is really yours to make in the world, that's going to pay you everything you ever needed and probably what you want as well, that contribution will hide because it's bright, it's light, it is pure. And that contribution is not going to come forward to be served up as dirty money. I'm going to wait because somebody just got that right now. Somebody just got that. Your beautiful, pure, blissful gift that is yours to give this world. Oh, thank you for this message. I see this wisdom coming through for you. It can only come through when you allow the hands through which it comes, your hands, to be purified. When you allow the opportunity that the flow that it will bring into your life, because honey, when you focus on your contribution and you let go of what is not yours to do, and you do the call, you answer the call to what's mine to do, that money's going to clean itself right up. And the only way that money can come to you is through those clean, light, pure forms. And so if I can send you back, and I talked to you about how starting today, we go into integration, we go into application. What does it mean? So the worksheets, the activity sheets starting from here on out are going to give you a couple of prompts to get you thinking, and then I'm going to send you back into your work. And so the work you've done for those first 15 days has truly begun. The foundation has been laid, honey. You have your super highway. And now we're just going to keep doing it. So now we're going to go back. And so remember that income piece on your spending plan or your cash flow plan. This contribution that you're going to offer the world is going to begin to create an income piece for you. Maybe it begins to build an asset for you. I know someone who built software and that became a major asset for them. But they did it because they were in the juice of their calling and their what's mine to do. And they had let go of all the stuff that was not theirs and focused in on what is. So what is your contribution to the world? Go back to that money story. What would it take to clean up that money story so that you can get to your pure and true and delicious contribution? Because I need you. We need you to say yes to your calling on this planet. Today is simple. Couple of prompts. What's mine to do? How do I feel when I'm doing that thing? How do I know it's mine to do? And does my money story allow what's mine to do to flow through me? And if not, that's okay. What would it take for me to purify that money story so it can? Someone who has made it this far, your life is changing right now. Let it. Let your light shine. I see you. I love you. I am you. Let's get to work. And I am headed back out to the sun in the beautiful Miami sun, funny, whatever today is, Friday, maybe. Whenever you see this, whatever day it is, get out in some sun, get into some light, and let yourself be the light. Mwah.